GMIHub is accepting new songs for their 2023 Christmas compilation. To find out how to submit your song, go to www.gmihub.ca today. GMIHub Family Christmas Volume 4.
Now is the time to submit your original Christmas song.
The Who is You. If you're a songwriter and would love to be a part of our Christmas compilation project, then you're in the right place.
Where can you submit? GMIHub.ca is the place. Please visit our website at GMIHub.ca and click on Family Christmas to find out how you can submit your song today.
You could be a part of the GMI Hub Family Christmas Volume 4.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to GMIHub Online. I'm Cheryl Dewick, your host. And today's topic is going to be getting the right picture or the right pick for your EPK. I want to introduce our panelists, but before I do that, let's introduce my wonderful co-host, Dale Borland. Dale.
Hello, greetings and salutations. Thank you so much for joining us. GMI Hub Online is here. We've got an incredible conversation. But before we get to that, I just want to let you know about what's going on with us. Right now, you're watching us on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, thank you so much for watching us. Wherever you're watching is awesome. But don't forget, while you're here right now, put a little notation into the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to hit that subscription and the notification bell. And that way, we can be have you as part of what we're doing here, and you will know the next time we put up a video. Also want to let you know about our website, the GMIHub.ca. Now, if you go under GMIHub.ca, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff that we are involved in. And not only that, we want to connect with you. So you go to the place where you can put in your connection email, and we will be able to send you a monthly newsletter called Hub Happening, so you get to know what's happening within our realm of things that's happening with the GMI Hub. But not only that, I just wanted to let you know that there's something really special going on at our website right now. Is we're accepting songs for our brand new compilation coming up for this Christmas. If you're an artist or you're a producer, you're doing a song, or you want to do a song for Christmas, we want to just ask you to submit it to the GMI Hub. The GMI Hub's latest project is called Family Christmas Volume 4. That's right. This is our fourth one, and we want you to be a part of it. So if you go into gmihub.ca, follow the link for Family Christmas and submit your song there. We'd love to have you join our team for our next project. It would be amazing. Now, let's get going. Lights, camera, smile.
Thanks, Dale. Well, our panelists are actually two professional photographers. Now, I don't know if you've ever had or ever heard from the photographer's perspective on what you should have in your EPK, but today we just thought this would be of value. So we have with us all the way from, I don't know if she's in Clarkson right now or in Brampton right now, but she's in Ontario.
Yes.
It is Anne-Marie May. She's of Welcome Aboard Photography. She is a professional photographer that specializes in portrait photography. She's done my portraits recently, so I thought it would be apropos to have her here. Anne-Marie, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thanks for having me. Hi, Dale.
And all the way from, I'm going to make sure I get it right, because I said Little Rock. Is that right? Little
Yeah.
Rock? I got to get it right. I got to get it right.
Little Rock,
Little
Arkansas.
Rock, Arkansas. There it is. All the way from Little Rock, Arkansas is Blue Senoj. At least that's his marketing name. Blue is a digital media professional. He's a photographer. I'm going to let him tell the whole story of his background, but he has helped several artists. He's worked with the Praise Factor Awards and many artists with them, and we thought it was so appropriate to have him here. And Blue, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us.
It is awesome. I am so grateful for the opportunity to be here. This topic is one of my passions. I love to help artists look good so that they can make God look good.
Amen.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah. So before we kind of jump into the conversation, let's introduce you guys a bit more by talking about how you kind of got started in this. Ladies first?
Ladies first.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. And welcome, Blue. Nice to have you up from Arkansas. I began my photography career. I was 11 years old, had to trade in my Persian cat for the new baby that was coming to our home. And my heart was broken. My father knew how much I wanted a camera. And smart man that he was, he had a beautiful Kodak ectographic camera system and a bag full of film in the baby's bassinet as he brought the baby through the front door and said, "This gift is from your little sister, and it's your job to photograph the new baby." So I'll tell you, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that moment like it was yesterday. So that was 50 years ago this year, but I've been a professional photographer for the last 35 years here in Toronto.
That is amazing. Wow. I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Right? Well,
Blue,
I don't go far. I don't go back that far. I got interested in photography in middle school. I was in the photography club, developing film in dark rooms, and had a little, point and shoot little 35 millimeter camera. But then as I got older, I got more into sports and military things. So I moved away from that. I did join the military. And as I was kind of ending my military career, I kind of picked up photography again. I just started, for some reason, I was drawn to it. And it took a little while for me to get into the professional realm. But after many people saying, "Oh, I love your pictures. Can you take a picture?" I actually did a wedding shoot with a point and shoot camera. I think back now, it's like, that's crazy. But after that, I realized I needed to invest in the right equipment to do it professionally. So in May of 2009, I made that investment and jumped out there shooting on an almost daily basis to hone my craft. And 14 years later, I believe I'm one of the best photographers in the game. Just looking for more opportunities to hone my craft.
So good.
That is awesome.
Yes,
That is so good. Wow. Well, okay. Now, both of you have worked with artists. You've worked with many different types of clients, but our target audience here are basically music artists or people that are in the music industry. Now, and most people that are in the music industry need to have an electronic press kit or something that actually presents themselves, so that when they present themselves to other organizations or for other opportunities, people have that whole package right there for them. Now, I'm going to use an old adage, an old phrase that basically says, one picture speaks 1,000 words. Do you both agree with that? Okay. So if a picture represents 1,000 words, how do I say this? What elements of a photo should an artist have within their EPK? What differentiates it from, for example, can we just take a picture with our phone and stick it in there and it works?
No.
Okay, I'm
Sorry,
seeing
no.
shaking heads. Anne-Marie, speak, Anne-Marie.
So another adage is the eyes are the window to the soul, right?
Okay.
I've had the incredible joy of being in conversation with the most incredible casting director at the moment in Beverly Holloway, who is the casting director for The Chosen.
Oh,
And with her advice, she'll say the first thing she looks for, it's in the eyes. So if you're going to film, you're going to come in close, you're going to crop close, you're going to have a good long lens on your camera, you're going to have gorgeous professional lighting to get as much light into the eyes, because that's what's going to speak. There's like 1.7 seconds that a casting director has to look at that image. Y'all better know that they're looking straight at the eyes, then the mouth, then the hands. But you just want to crop close, and it's all about the eyes. So the whole idea is to get as much light in the eyes. And the talent, the musician, the actor, the headshot person sitting in front of you, they have to be in their zone with their instrument or with the music playing in the background to get them. You know, there's so many elements. They need to come in rested. They can't come in tired. But it's my job. It's our job. It's Blue and my job to just extract that from them in so many ways. But keeping it tight, keeping it close. This is for the headshot. If they want more of a full-length body shot, and that's your marquee photograph that's going to be outside of the club that they're performing in, you can go shoot that in a back alley with brick and graffiti on the wall and make it fun. But Blue, what do you think?
Well, I think you're definitely on point with that, particularly with the headshots. You want to make sure that the lighting is on point. The eyes should be the sharpest thing in the portrait, because it's what's going to catch the eye. And if there's particular eye colors or there's certain facial features that are being highlighted, you want to make sure that that is highlighted in the portrait. In an EPK, a headshot is absolutely essential. It is absolutely essential that you have a professional headshot, not a cropped photo that you took on your cell phone, or even a professional portrait that you cropped out, but a professional photo that is done well as the main photo. Now, the other photos will depend on the type of artist you are. As you said, actors and singers are going to have different portraits. Singers and rappers are going to have different portraits. Singers and musicians are going to have different portraits. A sax player is going to have a different portrait than a pianist, because you want to highlight who you are. It's all about honing your personal brand, and your photos are going to tell people who you are before they read the words. Because the reality is, when they look at that electronic press kit, the first thing they're looking at is the portrait. The words are secondary, but the portraits tell the immediate story. So it's vital, like she said, casting directors, radio station, concert promoters, all these people have a very short time to look at your video. And as I was saying in the pre-production meeting, I used to have an online radio station, and people would send me stuff all the time. And if their branding, if their packaging didn't look good, I knew automatically. I made the assumption that the music wasn't going to be that good. And so your personal branding, the way you put together your EPK is essential. Logo, all these things that are part of the EPK are necessary, and you have to take the time and the money to invest in proper photography for those EPKs.
Yeah. It's funny. I saw Lecrae here in Toronto on the weekend. He opened for Chris Tomlin. And I found the CD that I had of him in my car this afternoon, and I put it on. And the cover, the little 5x5 CD cover, was almost entirely his face.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Yeah. It was like a silhouetted side profile, but I wish it was a big album cover, right? A big 12 by 12 inch album cover. But,
you're aging yourself, Anne-Marie.
It doesn't matter, man.
I know
go back
about
to
those
45s.
records. I've got them.
But it does make a difference. And think about all those album covers that we've had
Mhm.
all through our collections of
Right.
musicians, right? And think of the best images that are tattooed on our brains, on our memories, just
Right. Right.
because it was the best shot of that artist.
I
And
think
why you
you
say
both
that?
hit on. While you say that, go ahead.
I was gonna say when she was talking, it made me think of the Andre Crouch album cover with Hollywood Scene on it. That portrait is always a part of what I view when I view Andre Crouch, or the iconic one. I mean, so many iconic album covers. I mean, we could spend the whole hour talking about that. Sorry.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
on that note, and sorry, Cheryl, I feel like I'm taking over the conversation, but here in Toronto,
it's fine.
we had Al Gilbert was the grandfather of beautiful portraiture. If I say Oscar Peterson, you will go
Mhm.
immediately to that black and white portrait of his beautiful hand up by his face in a square Hasselblad,
Mhm.
right? That's
Mhm.
Al Gilbert's work. And
Right.
that came out, I think, either 1987 or 1988. So just as I was coming into this as a professional, everything I did was try to replicate the lighting on that, the posing on that, right? And that's an iconic image here
Mhm.
in Canada, is that image of Oscar
Wow.
Yeah.
Peterson for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
was thinking about.
go ahead.
I
Go,
was just
Dale.
thinking
Go.
about
Go, Dale.
the
Go.
important. go go me. The importance. I was just thinking about the importance of the image for a couple of reasons. One reason might be to help the branding of the artist, but another reason is connection between
Mhm.
your audience. You know, there's a when you have a record or something. I'm dating myself by saying record, but if you have a recording and and people don't know you as an artist, and then you have a picture of a house or a car on your cover, and there's no uh, connection with the individual who's watching. If they see another person, they're going, "Oh, that's what they look like," and they get to know you just that little bit more, and it becomes a little less. Um, I don't know how to say it, like sterile. It becomes more like
Right.
there's an actual personal person to person connection, and that really helps, I think, the artist to bring in people to give them a say, hey, I like the way they look, or that's a well done picture. They must really do well with their music, or I'd love to hear what they say, or hear what they sing about. Yeah, so I think that it's really important to have a good photo image, or to help with your branding. We could talk a bit more about branding as well as we talk about what kind of photography works for artists, because we've got a whole lot of things that we're going to talk about on today's program. So
Well,
Well, your
along with
comment.
what you just said, I just want to kind of piggyback what you said.
yeah,
In
yeah,
addition to being a professional photographer, I've served as a pastor. I'm currently a chaplain. But in my training for evangelism, one of the things that our instructor talked about was the fact that people want to connect with you, and so
yeah.
the photos are vital for people to know. You can put on an amazing program and put on all kind of flyers, but if you don't have a photo on that flyer, the chances of them connecting with you is very little. In fact, our instructor would tell us, if you're going to do a program, as long as you're not the ugliest thing in the world, make sure your picture's on that flyer. And so,
As long as you're
Oh,
not the ugliest thing in the
no.
world, but if you are, then don't bother.
Yeah, if you
right, they
you
put
want
somebody else's picture on it, but that is so vital. We live in a visual society more so now even than 20, 30 years ago. But the same psychology work was in play then. We just didn't have terminology for it. But
yeah.
people want to see other people, and when they can see them, and particularly if you look like them, if you have a sound that they like, if you're wearing similar type of clothes, then they're going to be drawn to
Mhm.
that. And so that's why the photos are essential
Absolutely.
for your
Yeah.
personal branding.
Yeah, because like you said, they might see something in that image. They go, "Hey, that's kind of like what I'm like," or I like what that looks
Mhm.
like." Yeah, totally.
And that's why it's important that artists understand their target market, and so that in the portrait session, the personal branding session, you are crafting those portraits to go after your target audience.
Yeah.
Mm. That's a very good point. Very good point. Wow. I was gonna ask about the equipment you use, but now I just want to go on down this line, this other line.
I
Well, I
agree with you.
shoot Canon.
Well,
Blue, what do
yeah,
you? Yeah, so we both shoot
I'm a
with
Canon.
Canon cameras and Canon lenses.
Right. And
Okay.
so,
So
yeah, the equipment will be determined on what and where you're shooting.
Right.
It's
okay.
really, if you're going to be shooting outdoors and you have a lot of room to operate, then you want to use a long focal length for sure. If you're shooting headshots, when you're able to zoom in real close, you want to use a long focal length. It looks better the way the lenses distort or don't distort at that range are better. If you're in tight quarters, then you want to use a shorter lens. If you're shooting in lower light, like if you're shooting concerts and for artists, I believe it's essential that you have some live action photography in your EPK as well, and links out to video. I do video as well, so you want to have your links out to video. So because people, they don't want to just see you in a sterile setting, they want to be able to see you in your natural environment per se. And so the shots in concert, the shots in studio, all these things help personalize you to the audience.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
Seeing the Newsboys, and again, any band, like, sure, we can talk about individual headshots, but any band that's like 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, they're always on a backdrop. They're just standing there looking like rock stars, the 5 of them, right? Like, since time immemorial, that's how the groups were always photographed. But then on the inside sleeve, you've got the images of them on the guitar and the smoke machine. And again, the Newsboys, the drummer, Duncan, flipping around and whirling upside down, suspended with his drum kit upside down, right? Like, we've all seen that in concert, but so you need both of that. But at the same time, you want to see Michael Tate close up, and you want to see his gorgeous big brown eyes, and you want to see all these other things, right? And it's important that way too. And you know, it was really interesting at the concert the other night. There was a guy that had this system with the big long lens right up on the stage, and I was watching him and thinking, oh, that'd be a fun gig to have, to photograph Lecrae. And then I thought, no, I need to be in the audience and get it from the wide angle perspective. Yeah, and for those photography aficionados out there, obviously y'all know with the wide angle lens, it's going to distort the face, right? It's going to make your nose look bigger. Anything closer to the lens is going to come across as bigger. So you never want to go below 50 millimeter lens size when you're doing portraiture on a 35 mil, 80 millimeter lens size when you're doing portraiture on a 2 1/4 inch or medium format Hasselblad. That's why we like our long lenses, right?
Yeah.
So I want to go on a photo safari with you, Blue. I want to come down to Little Rock. I need you to take me out and yeah, we'll go do a couple church rock concerts together. I would love that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's Arkansas is a beautiful place. You want to do safari? There's all kinds of beautiful sights to see. I've yet to explore. I've only been here a year and a half, so and I had to jump right into my work here at the hospital. But there's a lot to explore. And before COVID, events and concerts were my bread and butter. I loved shooting the different concerts. I've shot Lecrae, I've shot Vicki Winans, I've shot Kirk Franklin, and a wide number of gospel artists. And so it's fun to do those concerts. I in the backstage, Ty Tribbett, Kirk Franklin are the most hilarious people in the world. So they're awesome to be around. But it's like you said, it's fun to be in the audience. I like the stage shots as well. I like to shoot all the way around. But yeah, getting those in the moment shots. And it's funny, I had one of my mentors, and I wanted to do nothing but with portraits when I started, and I got dragged into event photography. And so I had a buddy whose photography name was Capture Moment. He was known for events and doing that. And so I was going by one day, I was showing him a shoot I just done. He said, "Man, I've been meaning to tell you, your portraits are good. You're getting better, but your event stuff, you're a beast on that." And to hear that from him was just awesome, because I'm like, dude, you're the one known for doing that. But I was able to figure out how to capture those moments. I used to tell people, beware, there's a sniper on the loose. And when I'd show them a quick shot of what if I caught a really hot shot, and I don't know how many people have used my photos for Facebook profiles or headers and that type of thing, because I was the alumni photographer for my alma mater for 5 years straight. And when they posted photos, of course, everybody takes them and puts them on their pages, though.
Right.
But it's fun. I love it. I love photography. I love capturing those expressions. I've got some shots of little kids being really, really cute, but I've also got the artists in iconic positions.
Well done. Good job.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Awesome. Let's talk. You talked about different lenses, and I thought that was actually interesting that you actually use a long lens to get the closer shot, and depending on the lens, you can kind of exaggerate, so to speak, certain parts of the face, which is very interesting. Right. I never knew that. I'm glad I know that now. But now let's talk about lighting. Now, I'm very limited in my understanding of lighting, but I know there's cool lighting, I know there's warm lighting, I know there's blue lighting, I know there's orange lighting, there is outside lighting, whatever that works out to be, there's indoor lighting. How do you manage the lighting situation?
Blue, do you want to take it?
Well, sure. Well, when I first started with photography, I didn't have a good understanding of lighting, but I knew I loved shooting outdoors, because I knew that was it. I got awesome photos in that setting. And so when you talked about the blue light and the orange light, you were actually repeating yourself. Orange is warm, blue is cool. Yes, blue is cool.
Okay. I love it.
Now the truth comes
That's
out.
a good one. That's a good one.
There's a T-shirt for you. Blue is cool. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it's all about how the sun, and there's what's called the golden time of day. Early in the morning or just before sunset, you have that warmer light, and warm light tends to look better. And so shooting outside, managing the light is really about understanding where the light where it's coming from, so you can control where the shadows fall, understanding directional lighting and how to use it to your advantage. One of the things that I've learned over the years is how to use flash outdoors and allow the sun to be a backlight, to be able to create some images that look more dramatic. But indoor lighting is a whole different beast, and it's something that I had to learn. I see that Anne-Marie has a prop for us, so I'm gonna let her go with the indoor lighting.
So Cheryl will know this, because I've had Cheryl in the studio to do a session, a talent singer, actor, model session, and we have a key light. It's where the terminology key grip comes from. It's the main light. So that's a giant softbox here. I have a fill light behind. So this is in front of me. This is illuminating this right now. That's like a great big open sky. Days where it's overcast outdoors, us photographers love that blue.
Absolutely.
Can I get an amen?
Oh, amen for sure.
This is a
That
giant
is
cloud in the sky. So we like
big
overcast
filter.
sky because that creates a flat lighting sky. So if it's a flat lit sky, beautiful. And
Yeah.
like what Blue just said, we always use our fill flash. Even on a sunny day, we're using our flash. It's different when it's an overcast sky. If it's a bright sunny day, you put the subject in the shadow. So the sun's beside my head,
Yeah.
behind my head, right behind, up above, whatever. I'm in the shadow, and you bounce that sun into a
Hmm.
reflector. So
Yeah.
Blue had mentioned this is cool. It's a silver reflector. And that bounces the light back up to illuminate from the sun, bouncing off of this to illuminate the subject. And this is the warm light, the gold, right?
Yeah.
You can put a great
Now,
big flash behind this, and this becomes your great big cloud to soften, and it softens the wrinkles and all of that sort of stuff.
so choosing that now, though some people would say that um, I don't know if this actually works. They're winter colored or something, or they're fall colored. In other words, they feel like they look better in a cool lighting compared to a warm lighting or something like that. Do you adjust accordingly based on what their I call it their skin tone or undertones would be, or is it strictly on the lighting that's available indoors, outdoors, and the basic is warm lighting to get the warmth of the skin or the warmth of the photo? Like what's the rule there? If is there a rule?
Well, there. The reality is you can't change the color of the sun, so you don't.
Yeah.
If you're outside in the morning, early morning, or you're going to get warm lighting. Now you can change the color of the environment, and with the reflection, you may be in an area like if you're in a downtown area, and you've got a lot of buildings that are darker in you, that's going to kind of mute that color and give it more of a cooler look. Or if you've got blue buildings, if you've got something that reflect off and it's going to mute that, then that will work for you. In the studio, you have absolute control to determine what color you want it to look like. And you do kind of, again, it would depend on the shoot. If you're shooting somebody that's going for that wintry look, that's going for it's called a high key look, then you would have a cooler lighting source and make it a little cooler in post. And if you're doing a fall shoot, yes, you would want a warmer look, or if you're going to have the fall colors in the trees, then you definitely want to use the warmer colors, the warmer lighting in post, where you really do a lot of what's called color grading to get it to look exactly how you want it to look.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. Let me see if I got this
So
straight. When you're talking about softening the light, you're able to, if I'm right, to eliminate hard shadows. So
Right.
you want to try and help to define the structures without those hard lines of dark shadows. So soften out that, and then you're talking about the application of lights in tones with the skin tone. But there's also, like you talked about the autumn, there's also thinking about your environment. So if you're doing in studio, like you said, you have more control. But when you're outside, there's a lot more thought process as to where you're going to shoot, location. So how important is it for the artist to understand the location for their shoot?
Emery?
Well, I can speak of experience. This was a wedding. It was here in Mississauga, and it was a very crisp, cool day, early November. and the sky was bright sunny, and the bride
Mm.
was black, dark skin black, and her groom was even blacker. And all of the bridal party was all different shades, different ethnicities, different skin tones. Her bodice, her bridal gown was all lace and white, whiter than white. Sunny, bright day. Like I can hear what Blue's cringing in the background from a photographer's point of view. From the start of filming until the end, our job as photographers, it has to be, the continuity has to be there. There's no room for error. You're forever, every shot, every image, you're recalibrating your meter, your light meter. And to pull that off and to get the gorgeous detail of the beadwork and to balance the skin tone, to get lots of fill flash on the skin so you still get this beautiful dynamic texture, and to balance out the brightness of the sun and the autumn day and the bridal party. But I was just so delighted. And again, I'm praying the whole time. I'm saying, okay, God, and I'm praying out loud. So these people are hearing me speak this. I'm like, please just send me a cloud. Just praise in a cloud at this moment. Lord, I'm asking. And I'm not afraid to speak the name of Jesus on a photo shoot. I do it all the time. They think I'm crazy. Oh, well, but, and then what do you think happens when a cloud rolls in? There's that relationship. So I bring the Holy Spirit into every single session I do. I just have to, because it's not about me. I'm just a conduit. I'm just his conduit.
I love that.
Well, the reason why I brought that up is because I was a photographer's assistant for a while, and I understand that when we went in location to, usually it was a wedding, like you say, there's a concern about the bridal party, the colors that work into the environment that they're in. They have to consider what colors will come through and the continuity between each picture and the whole photo album. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of things to consider. And you as a photographer have to sometimes inform the subject or the people that you're taking pictures of those kind of things. And it's an educational thing, I think, but at the same time, you also, as a photographer, you want to keep your integrity and do a good shot. You know?
Right. Now, one of the things that I think is vital when I'm talking to an artist about doing personal branding shot, I talk to them about what are you trying to accomplish with the shoot? What message are you trying to send? And then as we do that, we talk about, I'll get an idea from them. Do you have an idea where you want to shoot? When would you like to shoot? And I've had many times to get them to change locations because where they wanted to shoot was just not going to work. And people just don't understand the uninformed. Well, it's a good, bright, sunny day. It should be good light. Not so much. That's not what we want to work with. But I've shot football players and in a stadium. I like doing it in a stadium. I put up the lights and shoot there so we can get those dramatic shots. And in shots like that, yes, we want the more harsh shadows, the contrast, so we can get the more dramatic look. It's good for sports photography. Not so good for weddings, not so good for artist stuff. But you have to guide them. And I am a personal branding coach. That's one of the things, one of my mentors, I haven't met him yet, but he's my mentor online, Peter Hurley, talks about. You have to coach them into giving them what they want. Because a lot of times they can see in their mind what they want and they'll articulate what they want, but they don't know how to get what they want. And so it's our job as the photographer to hear them out, hear the vision that they want, and then give it to them. And sometimes it's painful for them. They don't know about fixing their lips or their eyes and all these things that you have to kind of coach them through and get them more comfortable with you. And that's why I like to have those free photo sessions where we're talking and I can get to know who you are so you can become more comfortable with me. And then I like having music at the shoots as well, so that helps them loosen up and, something that's going to gonna catch their attention. And when I have that first conversation, I can get an idea of what kind of music they might like, so that I can have that on my little playlist, so I can make them feel very comfortable about what they're doing. And it's been very helpful.
I agree. I absolutely agree, Blue. And I did this with Cheryl. It's so funny. I had the pleasure. We did the pre-game before what she was going to wear, and oh my goodness, her makeup was flawless. It wasn't shiny face. It was flat. I mean, you look at anybody on TV, news broadcasters, they sit in hair and makeup before they go out and read the news, right? A camera and lights, you never want to see shine. You want to have that done as well. So if your talent doesn't know how to do it themselves, they can hire someone who they feel comfortable to do their hair and makeup. That's not my job as the photographer. And yet it makes a big difference. I really insist on it, because either way, you're going to have to get it retouched to get all that shine off of there later. So you may as well encourage them to have it professionally done. But even choosing the clothes, the idea that solid colors with texture. I mean, I said to Cheryl, I'm like, oh, that old leather jacket with all the scuff marks on it, bring that. Let's do that. Like, that to me as a photographer, I get so excited about it. I don't know if Cheryl can pull up some of the images from our session to show you what she selected, and the colors she looks fabulous in. Again, wear those ones, but make sure they're textured sweaters that I'm going to get some really gorgeous lighting's just going to really pull out that image, and it's going to accentuate her red lipstick, wearing the red sweater, and the vintage leather jacket. That's going to give off a vibe for Cheryl Duick, what she wants as a musician performer. And I think we did a great job in pulling that off together. So,
I think Daryl has some photos. I don't know if he can extract them right away, but so I'd send it to him, but I don't know. He may try to put them up. I don't know. Just so you get an idea.
Sure.
Well, that's a good thing to touch on. Like, I mean, as a person who's wanting these pictures taken, you have to consider hair, makeup, clothing, and this presents a brand in a certain. And you also think about the colors, and you want to all these processes that you have to do some homework as an artist who wants to get some photo shoots done. Do some homework. Talk to your photographer. Have those conversations, because they're really important. Because when you get to the studio, you'll be prepared, and things do pop up. But there's always those conversations, especially if you have a good relationship with the photographer. You can really talk about some experimentations with color and lighting, and have some fun with it.
I don't know if Blue does this, Dale, but I just wanted to say, I usually say to my guest talent, if there's something you've seen in the industry online, or please send me those pictures. Let me get inside your head. Like, really let me get inside what you're thinking in a visual. And I used to do that for my brides. I'd say, go get the bridal magazine, the latest one, and rip out 15 pages of images that absolutely take your breath away, that you would like to see replicated in your wedding. And I have my shooting style. So of course I get every shot I need for the album, but they stretch me as an artist. And I'm sure you too, Blue. If you get those, you think, oh my gosh, I've never considered that angle before. You do it, you try it, they love it. And now your whole portfolio, your repertoire as an artist, as a creative photographer has just grown so much more. And those are the fun gigs. Those are the best ones to have.
Yes, absolutely.
Those are fun.
All right, I see it.
I just put up one of myself.
Oh, nice.
That's one of the photos.
Yeah, that's it. Look at that flawless makeup.
Yeah, but this leads to a question, because I see Cheryl's picture there, and that's nothing like a wedding photo. So my question is, when an artist was thinking about putting some photographs out for their EPK, what should they be looking for, and what should they avoid?
Blue?
Oh, yes. I would say, just like Anne-Marie said, you want them to see who they're trying to emulate. A lot of these independent artists, they're actually have somebody they're trying to emulate. There are very few original independent artists, unfortunately, and I've been working with the music industry for a long time. So you want them to give you an idea of who they pattern themselves after, who they look up to, who are their influences, so that you can and say, okay, you like Fred Hammond. What are some of the photos that you like of Fred Hammond? And I've done the same thing. Please send me some things that you like so that I can help you achieve it or achieve your own twist on. We are not going to absolutely duplicate it, but we're going to put your twist on it. And so now, as far as what they should avoid, we talked about earlier, cell phone cameras. do, do not, and again, I don't know how many times I have to stress this with artists. You get what you pay for. And
Right?
so if you hear my pricing and say, oh, that's too much, I'm gonna go with so and so, I often go back and look and see what they ended up getting. And almost 100% of the time, it is not what they were looking for. And
Wow.
so it is so vital that you look at a photographer's portfolio, you talk to that photographer and learn about them so you can see if they're able to give you what you're looking for. Because if you just get one of those Craigslist photographers who's going to give you pay $50 and give you all the photos, yeah, they're not going to look so good.
No.
It's just not going to happen because a professional photographer has invested in the equipment, they've invested time in learning, they've invested the money into studio space or the lighting, all these things. There's a reason that professional photography costs because the artist is an expert. And so you want to make sure that you link up with someone who's an expert in the field and can give you what you want, because if not, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to go back to them and then you're going to be upset. And why didn't you do this? I wanted this and blah, blah, blah. And listen, when I first started, yeah, I got that because I was that new guy on the block and I was still learning. But I would try to talk to the people and understand, listen, I'm learning. I did a lot of free photo shoots because I wanted to test different things. As I was saying in pre-production, I started out working in Detroit, and there were two artists that I worked with, and they were always really ready and willing to go do a shoot whenever I learned a new technique or learned new lighting or found a new location. And I'm grateful for them because their work and some of my iconic shots are from those because I was able to work with them. Again, we had that relationship, that friendship where we would have fun on the shoot and it came through in the photos. And so you want to find that photographer. Don't skimp on your photography.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like to me that not all photographers are the same.
By no means. Oh my goodness.
Are you kidding?
Here's the other thing. You want to find photographers that have the right affiliations. I'm a member of Professional Photographers of America. I'm a member of Peter Hurley's headshot crew. There are different organizations that certify. I've taught photography. I've mentored photographers, and so you want to have somebody with some credentials. I know Anne-Marie, she's been shooting longer than me on a professional level, and so she's going to have the portfolio to be able to show you. She's going to have the celebrities to show you that she's worked with. It's just you just can't skimp.
But you made a point. You made a point there about having photographs that she has in her portfolio. People have opportunities to see the photographer's work. It's a no-brainer to pick someone who knows what they're doing if you can see the work they've done. So
here's the one thing I do want to say. I do want to say this because I have fallen victim to this. You see people's portfolio, but unfortunately, some of them, they're not all their work. And I've actually had people that have hijacked some of my work and tried to pass it off as theirs.
Wow.
And so and it's man, I'm not that dude. So I don't play when it comes to my work. I've had to contact people and tell them, take that down. That's not your
Yeah.
work. And I had somebody fight me over, no, this is my work. And I said, no, I can go to your, they don't know anything about XF data. So I could go to your XF data and tell you exactly when this photo was shot. I know
Yeah.
where it was shot. I know what camera it was shot on, and I can show you to take it down. I've had to do it before, and it's frustrating. And I've fallen victim where somebody had a wonderful portfolio. I went in to take the shot, and the shots were trash. I was so upset about that, but it happens. And now I know if I look through the portfolio and I'll reach out to people. Oh, how was your experience with this photographer?
Right. I like to believe too, Blue. I like to really believe that we're serving a higher purpose here, and it's not just your reputation and my reputation.
Absolutely.
On the board, it's giving God the best that we have, right?
Absolutely.
And we know better. And if you think, oh, I'll get away with that, or I can skimp on that, that doesn't even enter our psyche. Many times people are like, okay, I think we've done enough here. It's like, really? Okay, just one more, right? But at the same time, you're doing it for a greater glory and a bigger purpose, and you're humble. I mean, the humility keeps us hungry, and it keeps us fresh, and it keeps us always striving to want to do better. Right. And I don't know, it's certainly for me, that's what fuels my job and my work. And like anything, you're only as good, brother, as your last portrait session, right? Your work. You can't
absolutely.
be resting on what you did 10 years ago. You're only as good as what you did last week. And know that client's going to tell 10 people whether you were good or whether you weren't good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's all these factors. It's like singing, Cheryl. You don't sing off key, girl. Like you strive to get better and better, and all of that. And Dale, you don't skimp. You're a taskmaster when it comes to making sure all the details are cared for, and I love that about you. So, yeah.
And
it's interesting. Just saying, this conversation we're having, if I could just review just a little bit, because it's like there's certain things that we have to think about if we are looking for a photo session. We want to know the purpose of what you're taking the pictures for, right? That's really important. Blue made that point, and that purpose is, it will dictate what the location is, what you're wearing, the colors potentially. So those things have to be thought about prior to even approaching a photographer, because you're looking for somebody who could capture those. Also, you want to think about your budget. So how much money you have available to you for this photo shoot. And, so those considerations probably are very important when it comes to figuring out what you're going to do with your photo session. I thought maybe is that something you could, am I right? Am I thinking those things are really important?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and you know what, for all the people watching, I want to just put it out there right now. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm very discreet about our pricing. It's like, you know what? No. And I've always worked on the a la carte menu. So I charge $275 Canadian, Blue. It's like $50. It's $50 US for you folks. Anyway, I charge $275 to come and have the session and bring 7 different outfits if that's what you want.
Right.
I book a 2 to 3 hour slot for that, especially for talent. The first digital, polished, retouched, ready to put in your EPK, ready to go, that's included. Each additional one is $95. And I think, you know what? If you're a seasoned performer, you're going to think, oh my gosh, she's so cheap, she must not be good. If you're a rookie and you're brand new, you're thinking, oh, how am I ever going to pay for this?
Yeah, exactly.
I have to say my average order is between $800 and $1,200 because people are getting enough variety and they're loving it and they absolutely must have it for this and for this and for this post and for this thing. And it all averages out. And I'm happy at the end of the day. I wish I was doing one session per day of talent. I would be a happy camper. I would be a happy girl.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 I feel
Do you
you.
want to talk about pricing, Blue?
Pricing, I would say I'm a little below you in that. My wife gets on to me all the time about my pricing because I'm in a new area. I'm trying to stay competitive. One of my biggest challenges, I've moved so much over the last 10 years that just when I'm getting going in my market, then I have to move for some reason. I'm hoping to be in Little Rock for a while, but I charge $250 for a headshot session, and I give 3 finished photos. I've created a system or developed a system, I should say, to streamline. I can help an artist get. I mean, my headshots, they have their headshots back within an hour and a half after we're finished with the session. Yes, I've got a system. And so, and the iPad Pro is a wonderful device to own as a photographer. And so I'm able to get that. So I charge that for a session. I give discounts for groups, and I have an unlimited package where if an organization, because I work with a lot of, to be transparent, I work with a lot of churches, a lot of nonprofits, people that don't have big budgets. And I, as someone who used to be a senior pastor, I understand that. And I love working what I'm doing, and I try to work under God. So I try to be ministry friendly. Now, for my personal branding sessions, they start at $750. So that's a different.
Yeah, so that's what I'm
clientele.
talking about. Yeah, no, I'm talking
Right.
about personal branding.
Right.
Is
and
what
so,
I'm talking about. So $750 US.
yes.
That's $2,000 Canadian.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's
Well.
not, but it may as well be.
But if
She's so brutal.
It may as well be.
building their
No,
brand,
it may as well be.
but if someone's building their brand, they need to invest that money. And I do give them the
Yeah,
image.
yeah.
I give them with my personal brand in 750, I think it's 10 images that they get with that. And it can be some headshots and full bodies, and on location. We can mix it up in studio or on location.
Yeah.
So I still think I'm undercharging, but again, I'm trying to, I want to help people. I am blessed to have a very good job. My day job is a good one that I enjoy doing, and I get compensated well enough. But I love photography. I love helping people, particularly the ministers, the artists, because my primary clientele when I first started were gospel artists. That's who I hone my craft with, and I wanted to help because my passion was, you've got all these raggedy pictures on these flyers for concerts and events and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, we got to do something about this. Y'all are representing God, and
Yes.
y'all making him look bad.
Yes.
We need to do something better. I'm like, we need to remove all the stumbling blocks from someone coming to see your event. Because if I'm some dude on the street and you call yourself a rapper or you call yourself an artist and you're putting this trash flyer out, I don't want to come see you because it's trash. And even if the flyer looks good, but your picture's trash, I think you're going to be trash. So I can't support you. So as a person who has the ability to shoot, I want to help these artists get the best imaging out there, the best branding, so that they remove the obstacle. They make someone want to come see you, because those first impressions are the vital impressions. And so I beg artists, please. I mean, I've had people that I've seen their struggle. I was like, please, I'll shoot you for free just so we can get you something better. You're talented. I see the talent in you, but your presentation is not working. So I want to help you. And so that's kind of where my heart is. And again, my wife gets on me all the time. Like, why are you doing these free shoots and that? But it's something I have a passion for. I want to help people. And sometimes, you know, it gets in the way, but I try to, I just want God to look good. That is my
Amen.
biggest thing. I want God to look good. And we as Christians need to represent him well. I believe in a spirit of excellence. We need to operate in the spirit of excellence. I try to operate in the spirit of excellence. Like she was saying earlier, I'm constantly, I got people I follow on YouTube, and I'm looking at how they're doing these different techniques, and I'm always searching to figure out how I can do better lighting, better editing, and all these things to get the shot that's going to be helpful for people. And we've got to do better. We got to do better.
Yeah.
I love your heart. Oh my gosh.
We
Love
have the
both of
best
you.
job on the planet. I'm telling you, Dale and Cheryl, we do. Like Blue and I, we are so blessed. We do. We have such an
Yeah.
opportunity to just celebrate God's blessing through the people that sit in front of our lenses, and when we
Right.
film them and when we photograph them, and it's just such a gift that we've been given, and a responsibility that we have as well to maybe take what they're coming to bring to the table, and we augment it just to if not for their sake, for God's glory. Right?
Amen.
Yeah.
That's it. Amen. Like, wow.
Indeed.
Talk about getting more than you asked for.
Absolutely.
I was like, hear the photographer's perspective. It gets a little different when the Holy Ghost gets behind them all.
That's right. Hello.
But you know what? I love your hearts. Both Anne-Marie and Blue have you know what? It's really interesting. You two have never met each other, correct? Prior to tonight, you two have never met each other. And here's the other thing. We never met Blue before. It was a God thing that we got Blue here. Yeah. But to hear your heart, Blue, which totally aligns with Anne-Marie. I hear Anne-Marie's heart more often. And especially when I had the photo shoot with her, of course, we know that that's her heart. I mean, she would, give the farm away if it meant helping somebody. Like, she's that kind of a person, just like you. And you're like, man, it gets in the way. You're not alone, Blue. She's like that.
Our spouses keep us on the straight and narrow, saying you got to raise prices.
Exactly.
There you go.
We're doing it all for free.
Yeah. But your heart is still the same. Your heart is for the excellence. And you know what? That is something that is my personal heart. I think Dale's and our whole team has that gospel music scene. And I'm talking no matter where it is, needs to, we're representing God. I love how you said it, Blue. We're representing God. So why are we making him look bad when we're not giving him our best? Whether it's in our pictures, in our photography, our presentation, whether it's in the gift that has been given to us, whether it be singing, acting, playing, whatever that is, why are we giving him second best or not our best at all when we represent him? And I love what was said tonight. I just love the heart we need to raise the level of excellence. When we're representing God, whatever we do, whatever we eat, sleep, whatever we do, we're doing for the glory of God. I'm preaching again, and Dale's
preach it again, sister. Go for it. I love it.
Right.
I love it.
It's so
I love
funny
it. He just gets on her soapbox, and she just starts. It's great.
That reminds me, when I first joined Professional Photographers of America in 1987, the tagline that year was "Up Your Standard." So whenever we got together with our monthly meetings, I would go down to Buffalo, New York, and do my monthly meetings with the crew of photographers down in the Professional Society of New York, down in Buffalo. First thing you'd get a handshake when you'd come into the building, the room, and it's like, up your standards. No, up your standards. Right?
Yeah,
and that was
yours.
the big, that was our line.
It's just so bad. It's like, up your, what?
Up your standards. But I mean, and the more we would laugh when we said that, but that was the running tagline for PPVA that year. And it just stuck. Yeah. It really stuck. And I mean, man, did we sharpen each other? It was iron sharpening iron, and the other thing I want to say too, the more we can pray with our clients, if they'll allow us going into the session, it's an entire different trajectory. I'm telling you. I've done that a few times. I've been able to ask them, and they would do that and welcome that very presence into the session, and stuff that I can't even explain takes it to another level.
That's awesome.
It does.
Yeah.
I remember in our session, Anne-Marie, there was I don't even remember what it was, but you were taking all these pictures, and then at some point in time, she actually started to cry because she said there was a particular shot. There was a particular shot that just ministered to you, and I don't even know what the shot was, but it was just like, the reason I say that is because we take time, we pray, and, you know, and I was a total rookie. I didn't know what to do, and she was posing me and telling me what to do, how to move my body, how to twist, where to sit, and open my eyes, all the rest, right? So she did all of this, and then all of a sudden, whatever she did, and all of a sudden she took the picture, and she just went, "That's it, this is the shot." And I went, "What's the shot? What is it?" You know, and I don't even know what the shot was, but it was just something that just hit home. And yeah, and it was the shot that basically, it was like the ministry, as you were ministering or giving your all to help me, it was like God was throwing it back at you and giving you a chance to see, this is the beauty that you are creating, or something like that. And it was just like the ministry shot for you as well. So as you are giving, God is giving back to you as well, which I think is absolutely awesome for you as photographers.
What you have to understand is when we're doing these shoots, we have a vision for what we're trying to capture. And when we get that shot, there is going to be a reaction. Mine is like, yes, I'm a Tiger Woods type. And it's one, this is going in the portfolio. This is going to be on my next flyer. This is going to be that shot. This is going to be your next profile picture. It's that one where it all came together, and God hooked it up for you to get you where you're trying to go. And my thing also, I'm an old school A-team guy. I love it when a plan comes together.
I love it.
And you know what? I just want to something that blew what you shared there. That's why we like, for photographers, we don't like 12 o'clock noon. We're having a siesta at that time, because we're up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, getting set up, getting on location, so that the minute the sun penetrates the horizon, the dawn breaks, that's the lighting we want. We've got about 20 minutes to capture our client in that. And subsequently at sunset, you've got that sunset photography. And just as it's gone down under the horizon, you've got about, Blue, you've got maybe 10, 15 minutes of that dusky light. And that's where you give praise back to the creator, to say thank you for this gift of sunrise. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it.
Yeah. And awesome. Anne-Marie, I want to applaud you for getting people willing to go at that early morning. I've not been successful at that. I am an early morning guy, a former military guy, so I like getting up early. My wife is not that person. She's not getting up for early morning shots. And I haven't found anybody else that was willing to get. So I haven't had a chance to experience the morning light. I've gotten plenty of the evening light, but I've got no morning light shots.
Just go hang out down by the running beach, by the water, and watch people early in the morning, and those will be your clients.
Now I have done some early morning shots on the beach. I'm originally from Pensacola, Florida, and I've had the opportunity to go down and be on the beach when the sun is rising. So yeah, it's beautiful light. I just haven't had a chance to do a real shoot out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to learn to get up early in the morning to experience this that you're talking about. Sunsets I've seen, and I get that. I do get that. Wow. Well, Anne-Marie and Blue, this has been like, oh my gosh, I think I've learned a whole lot more than I expected to learn tonight. And I love your hearts. Like I said before, I love what you were sharing, and I love the fact that you love to help and mentor. It's just right up our alley, right up our alley. So thank you so much for taking the time. I think you've already given tips, and I know, Dale, you've done a summary, but if there's any last statements before we close off, you're welcome to share.
Well, I definitely want to shout out my beautiful wife, my favorite model, Natasha Walker Jones, who is going to be releasing her book at the end of the month. So it's not gospel music industry stuff, but it is called Sex and the Saints, sexandsaints.com, if you want to check that out. Also, Little Rock Headshots is where I do my headshots and personal photography. You can see portfolio and book through there. Blue Senoj is the site, has the video as well as the photography stuff. And for anybody that is serious about doing work, please follow these tips. We share some awesome stuff. I travel. I'm willing to travel anywhere. And I'm willing to help other photographers. I've been trying to put together what I call a part-time professional group where we can, because people like me who work full-time but also have a passion for photography or media. I love to help people because it's not about me. It's about making God look good. And I can't be everywhere, so I need to make sure you're doing what's needed to make God look good wherever you are and whatever your context is. But I appreciate the opportunity to come on for the invite. And again, my information is always available, and I'll be happy to help any way I can.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Thank you.
And Anne Marie.
I just want to say welcome to my brother Blue. That's been so great. I mean, to connect with you. So I'm glad that Cheryl and Dale reached out to you and you accepted
Amen.
to be here tonight. Our gospel music hub here based out of Mississauga, Ontario, right? Just outside a suburb outside of Toronto. But we have so much to offer, and we need just to encourage more people to come to GMIHub. I too will travel throughout Canada. I will go to where the work is. I do it to God's glory, of course. And my information is there, welcomeaboardphotography.com. And again, I like to say, I'm just here to augment your vision and your dream. I prefer to be on the other side of the camera instead of this side of the camera. So I hope it came through okay tonight. But no, I'm here to get on board and certainly to be compensated for the talent, the gifts that I have. So currently we have a special promotion at the studio. And again, I mentioned the price was $275. I'm including the second additional portrait of your choice. So you get 2 digitals. But again, I've got you changing outfits about 4 or 5 different times. Cheryl can attest to that. To give you variety, because you're here now, you've got the hair, the makeup done. Let's take the time. Let's create so much. Even if you want to come back and order images at a later time. Again, that's always been the model that works well for me. Again, know that I did photography way back when it was film, 2¼ inch medium format film. Nobody was asking for all the original negatives. They didn't know what to do with it. The fact that people expect you to give the digital files now, it's difficult. It's really difficult from our perspective in our industry. So, I mean, we charge for that. Of course we do. And any professional is not giving their stuff away for free. So I just like to keep that in mind, but know that we don't stop until we get your image exactly the way that you envisioned it. And we collaborate together. I'm the film festival, the Canadian International Faith and Family Film Festival red carpet photographer. So I do event photography there, but it means photographing the celebrities when they're coming into Toronto with our executive director, Jason Barback. This is something I've been doing since 2018, and it's our 7th year of the film festival. So we're looking for sponsorship in that as well. With the sponsorship, I come in and do the branding photography of what you want me to brand. So if that's the owner of the company or your mission at your business, that's what we're working up to in time for this year's September Film Festival in Toronto. So little shout out to that. Thank you. And my information is online there. So would love to serve.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. We want to thank both Anne-Marie and Blue for taking the time this evening to come and join us on GMIHub Online. It's been a great conversation, and we hope that those of you who've been watching at home, you've gleaned a lot from this, because there was a lot of information and stuff that you could actually utilize to move forward and get a photo session together with the artwork that you might need for your online presence. So thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget that GMIHub Online has got lots of other videos, and you want to check out what we've got there, please take a look at our GMIHub Online. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already. We'd love to have you join our team and help us grow what we're doing here. It would really mean a lot to us. And if you are able to hit the notification bell, then you'll know next time we put up a video. That'd be really good. Also, populate the comments, okay? Put stuff in there. Say hello, talk to us. We'll engage with you. I love doing that. So if you have an opportunity to just say something or type it in there, that'd be awesome. And you want to find out more about the GMIHub, GMIHub.ca is the place to go. You'll find out all about us there. There's so much information, and we want to journey with you. If you're an artist, or even if you're in the industry in a different way, if you're an engineer or you're a producer, connect with us. Go to the connect button, put in your email there, and that way we'll be able to send you a hub happening. It's a once a month newsletter. It just tells you what's going on. And also, if you want people to know about what's going on with your music ministry, let us know, and we'll make that part of the hub happening. Yeah, it's something we want to do. We want to help you and to grow in the area that God has placed you in. So thanks so much for watching. God bless you.
Thanks. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, all.
Now is the time to submit your original Christmas song.
The Who is You. If you're a songwriter and would love to be a part of our Christmas compilation project, then you're in the right place.
Where can you submit? GMIHub.ca is the place. Please visit our website at GMIHub.ca and click on Family Christmas to find out how you can submit your song today.
You could be a part of the GMIHub Family Christmas Volume 4.
GMIHub is accepting new songs for their 2023 Christmas compilation. To find out how to submit your song, go to www.gmihub.ca today. GMIHub Family Christmas Volume 4.